John Madden in the little park across from my hostel, where I've been since Monday night in Cancun. The Hotel Naranjos, downtown, the hostel. I've been there every night except for the night that I went to Isla Mujeres on Thursday night. And with a little luck, I'm getting out of here today and catching a bus to Playa Mujeres, which is the end of the Adio route. Apparently you have to, from Playa del Carmen, you have to take some other bus from there to get to Cozumel, which is my destination as far as I know. Now, I just made a long video, 13 minutes, about the first part of my Friday night walkabout after I got off the ferry from Isla Mujeres at 11:30 at night on Thursday night. Found out the bus was not running downtown and walked until, I'm going to pick up here after I had, at 7 o'clock, finally got a shuttle van going to the Adio terminal and discovered I had all night long I had been walking in the wrong direction, which I had a couple of points wondered if that might be true. So 7:30 in the morning, I'm at the Adio terminal, and this hostel is a 15-minute walk from there, and I had made the walk. So I assumed I could find it. And obviously, now that I know the walk, yesterday I found I did it and it was really, really easy. But I made some disastrous mistake at the very start of the walk and ended up never getting close, never saw this neighborhood at all. So from 7:30 in the morning until 1:30 in the afternoon, and through the worst heat of the day, it's incredibly hot here, and all that time I had no phone service. The phone had died. Most of that time I had nothing to eat or drink. Literally nothing for hours. Wandering around in parts of this neighborhood, finally I got wildly lost. At the beginning, I must have been close. I kept ending up at Parque Urbano, which I think is not terribly far from here. It was a much bigger park, but it was so dispiriting every time I ended up back there. So I went further up the street that I thought a taxi had taken to bring me here. It was clearly the wrong street. A very major, not fancy tourist street. It's your local Mexican tourists where they hang out and shop. But a big road. Until finally at 1:30 in the afternoon, my legs are still absolutely destroyed 2 days later, barely can walk. I gave up. And I'm going to do a separate video about what happened when I gave up. A long time ago, I wrote a poem called I forget the name of the poem. I think Something Rises was the name of the poem. And the refrain in the poem was, when I give up, something rises. And I meant spirit comes in and rushes in. I had no idea what that meant at that time. Now I really know how that works. And these days I might say that what rises is Kundalini, because that's what's happened for me for the last 4 years. But back then I just meant that some power happens. It ended up being the name of my poetry book, Something Rises. And a good friend of mine from Jubilee, where I went to church, Delia, who's not a friend of mine at all anymore. Oh boy, she hates me now because I told too much truth about what actually happened at Jubilee at the end. But she came to me and said, I will never think of the words give up in the same way, because the refrain had been, when I give up, something rises. When I give up, something rises. When I give up, something rises. I didn't even know what I was talking about then. I don't know. Somehow, a lot of my old poems contain truths that I couldn't have known back then, but I really know now. And so, when at 1:30 in the afternoon I gave up, the real Mexican spirit, not the affluent Cancun, Mexico, where you can encounter some really cold, affluent Mexicans and people from around the world that I keep getting floored by how much English I hear spoken on the street in Cancun and Isla Mujeres. But this was the true Mexican spirit that took over and made things work for me, and I'll tell that in another video.